Hey, this is Russell. Welcome back to the channel. Right now we are in Jacksonville, Florida, and we just finished a 3-day wrestling tournament. Day 1 was beach wrestling, day 2 was Greco, and day 3 was freestyle. This trip was fun because I had a lot of friends came with me. One was Lex, who's been my training partner. The only other person crazy enough in my world to train and then actually come to these tournaments, which has been really fun. And number 2 is George Ivanov, and George was wrestling at Boise State. And after he had done wrestling Boise State with us, he actually went back to Bulgaria and competed on the Bulgarian Olympic team. And so it's always nice having an Olympian as a friend and also as a coach.
Good job.
For the most part, wrestling's been closed down since COVID. And that's why when this year was opening up, I was so excited to come fly out to Florida to do it for a couple of reasons. Number 1, I wanted to wrestle again, which was exciting. Number 2 is this is the first year ever they had beach wrestling. I wanted to participate in that. And so all 3 of them are happening back to back to back. We're about to do weigh-ins, so skin checks first, make sure we don't have any weird stuff growing on us. And then after that, we jump on the scale and see if we're underweight. So Lex is nervous. Look at him. It doesn't make weight, you gotta go to my weight class with the fat guys. The last year we did this, we planned about a week to get ready for the tournament. And the very first practice, I tore my neck out. And so we didn't have any other practices. And then we just showed up and it was really fun, but really hard. This time we planned about 3 weeks earlier. We started doing practices a couple days a week. As an older guy, it's hard to take shots and just shoot on people and pull their legs in and all this stuff.
Day number 1, definitely feel rusty and out of shape. And now all my ribs are bruised slightly. And some internal bleeding, I'm pretty sure. But that's day 1, that's normal.
I think we ended up getting about 8 practices in over the 3 weeks, getting us as prepared as possible to show up here in Jacksonville and wrestle with a whole bunch of other guys who were crazy enough like us to come out here and continue to compete. So day number 1 was beach wrestling, and I remember when we started walking down to where it was at, it was so cool because we walked over kind of a little berm and looked down, and all of a sudden you saw the sand and the ocean, and you saw people out on the sand like sparring and rolling around, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So I have 2 types of people. The ones that you guys know about, my funnel hackers, and number 2 are my wrestlers. I forget what my people are like, and they're really fun. All of them there are a little bit crazy, obviously. They all got ears that are a little different, so you can tell who they are. I forgot about half of the population all had mullets, which is really encouraging for those, you know, who want to grow mullets. Like, it's a thing, and it's still happening in the wrestling community, which I'm pumped about.
Usually wrestlers get a little nervous before their first match. It takes the first match to dust the rust off of them a little bit, but they should be fun.
So my first match, I just remember it going so fast. In, I don't know, 5 seconds, I was face down in the sand. I get up and I can't see anything. I get my face off, and he got 1 point for that. And it's the first person to 3 wins. So I walk back out, and I can't see anything. And I know there's an out of bounds. If you push him out of bounds, he gets a point. So I tried to like grab him real quick and tried to throw him, but planting your feet in sand is not like planting your feet on the mat. And I kind of slipped and fell down, and he got 3 points for that, and he ended up winning the match. So that was my first match, kind of a bummer. We blinked, I didn't even know what happened. I didn't know if I even started yet, and it was already over.
Round 2.
Second match, I actually drew a guy who was a world team member. He went undefeated Olympic trials, like a legit wrestler. Also, the way they put the weight programs together, he was about 35 pounds heavier than me. So I saw the guy walk out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's huge. So we started wrestling, and luckily this was his first time sand wrestling as well. We started beating on each other's heads a little bit, and then he tried to do a throw on me, which I was able to catch, and so he got a slip, and I got a point. Then we came back out again, and we started fighting, and he stepped kind of on the side. Back in college, I used to do a thing called a foot sweep, and so I tried to foot sweep him, and he chopped him down. He didn't go all the way down, he kind of stumbled a little bit, and he started bringing his pressure back up. So I came back, and I foot swept him the other way, and he fell to his hip and to his back, and I got 3 points for that, which ended the match, making me a beach wrestling champion. Well, I didn't take first, but it was so much fun. I want to start drawing sand pits everywhere I go. If I can find wrestlers to wrestle with me. Volleyball pits, beaches, you name it, I want to do it. It was really, really fun. And probably one of the coolest parts of this whole trip, because it's just something new to do with the skill set we've had from the past. So So day 2 and 3, we left the beach, came back to the convention center, and the first day was Greco, and which is basically wrestling, but it's all upper body. You can't touch their legs or you lose points. And then the second day was freestyle, and both Greco and freestyle we wrestled in the Olympics. They're different, but they're very similar and a lot of fun. With that said, do you guys want to see a couple of the not so good moments in the tournament? Ouch. I shouldn't let them show that. But you want to see the good ones? Okay, watch these. These are the ones that are important.
You got it, you got it, you got it. Good job. Good job.
I was able to take second place in the country in both Greco and freestyle. And we had a bunch of matches. I won some, lost some, but overall had a really good experience as well. Getting back to my roots, wrestling freestyle and Greco.
Mine's about the fourth the size of his, but second place, which second place technically is the first loser, but I still feel good about myself, so kind of.
You know, we can borrow one of the big ones for the picture. Take a picture of both big ones.
This is the national championship for freestyle in 78 kilos. It's the first time I've ever been able to say that, but I guess it's not where you start, it's where you finish, right?
Mostly it was fun just to get back on the mat, roll around, like reliving the glory days was really special and really fun. But one thing that was really cool, there's one highlight that came out of the tournament this time that I wasn't expecting, wasn't planning on. There's this older man that came out, probably in his 80s, and he was on crutches, and we thought he was just a spectator, and then all of a sudden they called his name. And he put the crutches down, he walked out, and he wrestled in the sand. And then we saw him the next day in Greco, walking around in his crutches, and he took them off, and he started wrestling again. And I remember looking at, took a picture of him, and I sent it to my wife, and I said, this is my future, just so you know, like, this is gonna be me when I'm this guy's age. Like, it was just really inspiring to see that initially. And what I didn't know is the last day during freestyle, it's customary in wrestling when you finish, like famous Olympians and things like that, when they wrestle their last match, they'll take their wrestling shoes off and they'll put them on the side of the mat as a sign that they are retiring. After he finished his last match in freestyle, we sat there and it kind of got quiet in the stadium, and the announcer got an announcer and told his story as he was untying his shoes. And they told the story, he started wrestling 7 years ago. And I asked him afterwards, I said, you didn't wrestle when you were younger? He's like, no. I'm like, why'd you start 7 years ago? He's like, it's a bucket list item. He's like, when you're my age, a bucket list will become really important to you. And I asked him, I said, was it emotional when you took your shoes off? He said, yeah. And then I asked him, it's like, what's that feel like? He said, you know what? He's like, I'm a judge. And he's like, typically, anywhere else I go, people are always asking me all these questions about my political beliefs and things like that. He's like, when I started wrestling, I came here, he's like, the very first time, he's like, no one asked me which side I was on. Nobody cared about my law rulings or anything. He said, they came here together as wrestlers, and because of that, we wrestled together. And he's like, it was just a place for me to escape. It was my vacation. It was my place to be myself. And it was really powerful as I was thinking about that. I feel like there's not a lot of places for people to go to be able to have just their family, to have their people. And I started thinking about my group of people, my funnel hackers, people who follow us and are part of our community. The thing that combines us together as funnel hackers is our common goal to be able to serve a group of people and do it at the highest level possible. And so that was really the thing that I got from watching him and seeing his experience inside the wrestling community, something that he didn't even know about until 7 years ago, and now it's like his happiest memory. I hope that can be the same thing for people here inside the ClickFunnels community as well. All right, with that said, I'm wrapping up this video. And again, as you can probably tell, I'm gonna continue to wrestle until I'm at least that guy's age. That is the game plan. And so for any of you guys who wanna compete with me, come back. Let's hit it on the beaches next year. It's gonna be so much fun. And if you're not gonna come to the wrestling tournament, then please at least come to Funnel Hacking Live, where we can hang out as entrepreneurs. And I'm also curious down in the comments down below, let me know, do you guys like seeing videos more like this about other parts of my life besides just business and entrepreneurship? But hopefully you can see how it relates back to what I do in business and what you do as well. With that said, make sure to like, subscribe, follow everything on the channel, turn on the notifications, and we'll see you guys on the next video. And so this shoulder, I'm gonna get about right there. And all that's just like pure pain. And then my fingers hurt, my back and my neck from like people banging on your head and hanging on it. My entire neck hurts, my spine, my bones, my organs, pretty much everything. My legs, really bad. And my right toe, the big toe on the right side, hurts really bad. My left toe feels great though, so we're good there.